everyone. Thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Israel has just arrested a senior Hamas operative in the West Bank city of Tulkarem. Rafat Nassif was one of 14 people arrested in overnight raids across the West Bank for rock throwing or organizing violent demonstrations. Nassif is a member of Hamas's Politburo. He was arrested last May and subsequently released about a month ago. Israel's security bureau, the Shin Bet, re-arrested Nassif, however, after becoming aware of increased Hamas-related activity around his home. Israeli intelligence sources say that his detention is linked to the ongoing elections Hamas is holding in the West Bank. The vote is currently being held in secret as to prevent Israeli intelligence services from arresting the terror group's new leadership. United States Vice President Mike Pence says that President Trump is still committed to moving the United States Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Quote, "The President of the United States is giving serious consideration to moving the United States Embassy from Tel Aviv," Pence said during his speech at AIPAC's annual policy conference yesterday evening. Pence went on to say that Trump is interested in finding an equitable and just resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, in reference to the president's special representative for international negotiations, Jason Greenblatt. Greenblatt held meetings with both Prime Minister Netanyahu and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in what was billed as a listening tour 2 weeks ago. Pence did not mention the two-state solution, however, as an equitable resolution for the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, which has traditionally been a cornerstone in American foreign policy in the region. During the presidential campaign, Trump made the embassy relocation a centerpiece of his policies, but has since been seen as wavering in his commitment. Today, Trump's special representative for international negotiations, Jason Greenblatt, met with Israeli far-right leader Naftali Bennett from the Jewish Home Party. The meetings come as the White House and Jerusalem failed to come to a consensus concerning Israeli settlement construction in the West Bank. After the meeting, Greenblatt tweeted that we discussed the importance of working to improve the economic life of Palestinians, and we also discussed President Trump's vision for peace and his thoughts on how best to achieve it. A source from the Jewish Home Party said that the talks with Bennett lasted over an hour, and that Greenblatt received a different perspective in regards to settlement construction and the peace process. On Friday, Greenblatt also met with opposition lawmaker Tzipi Livni from the Labour Party, who told him about the last round of talks between Israel and the Palestinian Authority, in which she held a prominent role. Greenblatt's talks with Israeli legislators began last Monday when his team met with Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Yoav Horowitz, in Washington. According to the report from the Kremlin, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas and Russian President Vladimir Putin are said to meet in Moscow on May 11th. The two leaders have not held a meeting together in Moscow since April of 2015. Putin and Abbas are said to discuss the stalled Middle East peace process, the general situation in the Middle East, and the results of the annual summit of Arab League states, which is scheduled for later in the week in Amman. According to both Kremlin and other sources, Russia has expressed multiple times an interest in mediating a peace process between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. According to the Russian Foreign Ministry, Putin had even invited both Abbas and PM Netanyahu to Moscow for direct talks, but no such meeting has yet been scheduled. Thus far, the PA has consistently refused direct negotiations in favor instead of internationally imposed resolutions and preconditions. Diplomatic ties between France and Israel have been put to the test as a new report by the French daily Le Monde is alleging that the Israeli Mossad spy agency has attempted to infiltrate French agencies, trying to collect information and recruit double agents. Le Monde's accusations are based in a report released by the DGSI, or France's spy agency. The DGSI report outlines how agents from both the Mossad and the DGSI were assigned to a joint operation in 2010, but developed unsanctioned and inappropriate relationships with one another. The operation was to collect information regarding Syria's weapons of mass destruction capabilities. Independently, another branch of the DGSI French spy agency was tasked with tracking the Mossad agents' movements in France, thus uncovering the relationships. Detailed in the DGSI report, the Mossad agents allegedly used their good rapport with their French counterparts throughout the years-long operation codenamed Ratafia in efforts to recruit them, apparently using money and gifts. Among the suspects are French intelligence consultant and former DGSI head, Bernard Squarcini. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.